No, welcome back as well as under-23 managers. But first we've got to talk about your history here with the football club. It was 10 years ago. You and your teammates were running away with the championship title. That was time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. But like you said, you got such vivid memories of what happened them days, and the games this time of year, and where we had to get to get to where we got. It was so exciting. It was a really lucky time for me. Really precious.
Your special team, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And that's what we were. We were a team. We weren't individuals. We didn't have any outstanding individuals, but we all knew that, and we all had that self-awareness that if we worked for each other, that we could achieve something, and we did. So we're very, very blessed.
Great camaraderie, and I guess now you can kind of look back on those periods now, can't you? With the benefit of hindsight, because I guess at the time you just kind of going through it, winning the game by game, and now you can kind of reflect a bit.
Yeah, and this is it. I've never took the time to look back, because you're always looking forward to the next thing. But when you look back, recently over the last week or so, I ended up pulling out a box of jerseys, and you get quite emotional, and you see quite some photos and the medals and whatnot, and it does. It makes it all that more special, So I'm just lucky. I'm delighted just to have it,
And you were obviously, in our 150th season, where the history's kind of being put front and centre quite a lot, and it's what football's about for a lot of people, whether that's fans or players, really.
Yeah, and this is what it's about, This is a special club, and it's got a really special history, and something that's really close to me, to my heart. Where I am now is a product of where I started with an injury when I was here. Got me into the coaching side of it, and it was Eamon Dolan and the people around him who got me in and got me working with them when I had time to do my rehab and reflect on the next, say, 7 or 8 months that I was going to go through. So for me, it's a dream come true to be here.
And you were part of, just quickly on that history you've got with the club, you were part of that promotion winning squad in the 11-12, and what are your kind of favourite memories, what are the kind of vivid things that stick out in your mind from that era?
Wow, vivid things that season. You're talking West Ham away, Southampton away, the game Forest at home, knowing what was at stake, and knowing what could happen if we had won the game. So it was quite a tense game. I remember it being an edgy game. It was a really even Steven game until Ledge scored, and then I think I'd come off by that point, and we had the news come through that if it stays the same, we're up. So just trying to get that information onto the boys on the pitch to stay with it and to keep going. And then the scenes after it, trying to get off the pitch, the fans all over it, getting up on the balcony, just sharing that with the fans that night. No one will ever forget that, whoever was there. For me, it was it's almost as good as my wedding day.
And you got Ledge still around, working in the academy. I'm sure you give him the odd pat on the back from time to time for giving you that moment. And loads of other people around the club who've been here since you were here first.
This is it. The academy people haven't changed. The girls in the office haven't changed. They're still as lovely as ever, and they're great. And they're so welcoming. They're warm, and it's what I remember at Reading. It's a family club. I know obviously owners have changed and whatnot, but the core values are still the same in that academy, in them offices, and personnel will change, of course, but within that, if you keep that family vibe, that togetherness, it's very special.
One thing that has changed, of course, is where we're based. We're I think Hogwood about 10 years ago, but here we are at Bearwood, and great place to do your work, isn't it? Yeah,
it's beautiful. Ironically enough, I lived 400 yards from here 6 months ago, but I kept it in the family, so I sold the house to Tom Mack, so he has it now. I'm going to have to rent the room off him, I think, just to get back, but I only live like a half an hour away, so I always wanted to stay close to the area, but the facilities here, there's no excuses, and these boys are so lucky, to come up through an academy here, and have everything they have. There is no excuses, there's no questions to be asked. Everything can be answered here in one area, on the pitch, off the pitch, and it truly is amazing.
I was going to ask you then a little bit about your journey to here, post-playing, a little bit of time at Swindon, and Doncaster as well. You've got your sort of cut your teeth there, you've kind of got some hands-on experience, haven't you?
Absolutely. I left Wigan after we won the league. I went back to Ireland and coached and managed there for 6 months, and we've done really well there, so I thought, I really enjoyed it. So when the Swindon thing came along, I thought, yeah, absolutely, and again managed to win a league there. which is credit to the players we had and to the staff we had. Obviously then going to Doncaster and coming back. But when this came up and I had the conversation with the club and Michael Jukes, it was just perfect for me. Very, very honoured to be here.
And as you mentioned, you've been local. You still did stuff with the community trust as well. I mean, that's clearly a big part of you, this football club. Even before you kind of returned to this role. Yeah,
absolutely. We talk about family, we talk about values, and that's extended to the community. And I mean, these people turn up in their thousands every week to watch the team play, and it's like that when you go down the street, when you go into Reading, and people will stop and chat to you. And it's a lovely feeling, it's a great feeling, it's a very special feeling. So for me, it has to extend out to the community, because without the fans, there is no Reading for me, there is no family. So we know, it's so important to us.
And you've touched on it already, but 23's manager, what's it been like so far? You've had a month or so. It must have been a bit of a whirlwind, and enjoying it.
Yeah, listen, I'm loving it. It's definitely an eye opener. But I'm so lucky. For me, I think I've got one of the coaches that I've ever worked with. Working with me, Peter Scott. I think the club are so lucky to have people like Peter involved. The information and the detail he goes into with these boys. He really leaves it down to them on the pitch, because they, again, like I said, there's no stone unturned. With Jokesy there and the whole core group, Sweets is still here. Steve LePere is still here. There's so many people. Martin is still here. All here from the days when I played here. And how they've welcomed me in, and how we've took, and it's like I've never been away, which is an amazing feeling. And now we just got to get our work done, make sure these young players are coming through the right way, which they are. I think an awful lot of them have got opportunities to play up levels this year through the circumstances, and it's been great for them. But now it's about time that we really put a philosophy in place of the Reading of old, in terms of hard work, front foot football, aggressiveness. That's what got us success before, so it's something that they have, but I want to try and implement more and more of.
And these are boys who, it's kind of a bit of make or break time in their career to a degree, isn't it? They've got to actually make sure they get those contracts, take the opportunities when they come on the first team, and when they're dropping into the back to the 23s or whatever, that they're sort of impressing, really. It's a really important time, isn't it?
Absolutely, and it's not just about that as well. Obviously we want to prime players for our first team that are ready to come up and make a difference, and help the football club and help the team. But after that, then you got to think, what if they don't make it at Reading Football Club? Are we making them ready for the EFL? Are we making them ready for League 2, League 1, or even conference football? Are we making them ready for the skills they need outside football? And making sure that, because the world can be an unforgiving place, and it's making sure that these boys know how ruthless, football can be ruthless. And I'm talking to our players about being ruthless on the pitch, because for me, you have to have standards, and they have to be high, and you have to have demands, and they have to be constant. So for me, it's just trying to install these and keep reiterating to these boys that it's important to have these here for the rest of your life, not just for football, but for how you go about your business and how you carry yourself, how you are socially, how you conduct yourself for yourself, your family, the club, but the world after.
Do you remember what it was like being their kind of age, or even being a Reading player here and seeing boys with talent that's
yes.
them and what
Listen, I've seen some of the boys that have had more talent in their little toe fall away by the wayside than I had talent. And I've seen players that had very little talent but extreme hard work, and that hard work then creates the talent. So listen, the game is about hard work. You have to be hard working to succeed in this game. I try to explain to these boys there's billions of kids that play football around the world, but you're in the 0.00003%, which is incredible to be playing professional football. And it's a credit to you, but now can you take the next step? Can you drive yourself on, have that self-drive to go and win games and go pull people through with you?
And that's lastly, I mean, you've touched on it already, but yeah, I guess you've seen all these boys with potential, and I guess if you can exceed your potential just by working hard, then you can go anywhere, right?
Absolutely. I think hard work, for me is a fundamental. It's a non-negotiable. Hard work, positive thinking, front foot, brave, honest, desire. All these things relate to the football club. How we got success is how we bounced off them fundamentals. So if I can give that to these players, and get them in that mindset, and that way of thinking, we've got a chance.
And lastly, just touching on these boys themselves, you feel like they're kind of receptive to the ideas. Hopefully, they're kind of like taking what you've got to say on board.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think from the first game coming into that Burnley game at home, I think they took it really, they took it on board and they went and carried it out. Played on Sunday, and it wasn't so good, and we got what we deserved because we didn't match Southampton in terms of work ethic, desire. But it's a great learning curve for them that we can't just switch it on and off. It has to be a constant thing. Every day has to be a day of 100%. So for the 3 games before that, we drew when we should have won. We beat Cheshire in the cup, and we beat Burnley, and we could have scored more goals. And I was really pleased. In the Southampton game, we weren't at it as much, and we didn't get the grips of the game early enough, and we didn't do that. We didn't earn the right. And for me, football is all about earning the right first and foremost. You have to earn the right to play, and if you don't do that, you're in trouble. So it's just making these young boys recognise that we have to earn the right. We have to do the horrible stuff first before our football will come and play. And we're getting it. And the messages that are coming out every day are really clear, and you can see them in training. They're progressing and they're buying into it, and they understand.